I hope everybody can see my screen. Okay, today the topic is teamwork. Okay, so imagine a situation when you are on a group project and one person does nothing. So what happens in those situations? I know that most of us, almost all of us, have had an experience of working in teams. And there are situations when we face such types of problems, similar situations. So what happens in those cases? That's why the purpose for today's webinar is how we can make teamwork a key to success. So why teamwork is important? There are some quotes from famous people. I'm sure that you must be familiar with most of them. First quote I would like to share with you is from Michael Jordan, who was NBA player and a coach. According to him, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. And he won several championships in his leadership. Another famous quote is from Steve Jobs, who was the founder of Apple. And according to him, great things in business are never done by one person, they are done by a team of people. Another quote about teamwork is Henry Ford, who was the founder of Ford Motor Company. He said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. So we can see that all these famous people from different industries, either from sports, from business, or from automobile industry. So they have achieved tremendous success. And that's what they believe in, that teamwork is a key to success. So we are very keen to understand that how teamwork makes the dream work. So just a very quick overview of what we will be discussing together. First, we will try to define what is teamwork, what is the importance of teamwork, what are the characteristics of effective teams, and we will share some teamwork experiences with each other. And we will also discuss what are the strategies for building teamwork. We will discuss a few examples of effective teams from real world. And then we will try to conclude this webinar. At the end, there will be a question and answer session. So let's dive into this and let's start with the definition of teamwork. In simple words, we can say that teamwork is the collaborative effort of a group to achieve a common goal or to complete a task in the most effective and efficient way. I hope we all agree on this definition. The question is why teamwork is important. It is important because it increases productivity, it brings diverse ideas, it enhances problem solving, it builds trust and relationships, and promotes learning and development. So that's why we see that organizations these days are encouraging teamwork at workplace. And we are really keen to build those teamwork skills. So what are the characteristics of effective teams? Effective teams set clear goals, they define roles and responsibilities, they are very encouraging towards open and honest communication, and build mutual trust and respect, and also encourage collaborative decision making. All right, let's share our teamwork experiences with each other. Would you mind sharing what lessons have you learned from working in teams so far? So I know that what are your struggles and what type of problems do you experience while working in teams? Anyone would like to share some experiences? Yes, Pratham, please go on.
I think we do have some students who are participating in our chat room. So according to Lorraine, not having the same schedule.
Okay.
For Akshay, time management.
Okay.
According to QT, having common shared thought. And Lorraine said makes it hard to work with the project. So I think not having the same schedule makes it hard to work with the project.
Okay. All right. Okay, thanks for sharing your experiences. And I agree with that because there are challenges that we have to navigate through when we work in teams. So let's see what are the strategies for building teamwork. So some of these strategies will provide us some valuable insights and some takeaways that we can use in future projects, in future teamwork projects. Firstly, encourage open communication. Secondly, foster a positive work environment. Third, set clear objectives and expectations. Fourth, provide opportunities for team bonding. And the last one, recognize and reward team achievements. So we will have a look at each of these strategies one by one. Let's have a look at encourage open communication. So open communication is very important. Whenever we are working in project, whenever we are working in teams, we really need to encourage everybody to come up with their ideas, concerns, feedbacks very openly and honestly, so we can create an environment where everybody feels valued and heard. So this is really important for setting the common grounds for all team members. And fostering a positive work environment, because it's really important to boost the morale of team members and also the productivity of our outcome or the project deliverables. We need to promote mutual respect, support, collaboration, and also there are conflicts. Sometimes it's hard to work with other people when people do have different opinions, and conflict is something which is inevitable. We can't avoid it, but we need to understand the nature of the conflict, and then we need to come up with solutions how we can resolve and reach to the mutual grounds and agreement. Setting clear objectives and expectations is very, very important because sometimes people do struggle in teams because they're not very clear about the objectives and expectations of each of them as a member. So setting roles, responsibilities for each member, and also we need to try to come up with smart goals. So when we are setting goals, we need to set smart goals, where S stands for specific, M measurable, A for achievable, R stands for relevant, and T for time bound. So if we set very clear goals and everybody understands them very clearly, there are high chances that everybody will be on the same page. Another strategy is providing opportunities for team bonding. So it's very important when we are working in a project, we do create good relationships with all the team members. So sometimes team building exercises, sometimes socializing, social events can also help us to build good relationships while we are working on the group projects. So I know that it is very important to get the job done, but while doing the job, at the same time, building that positive environment where we work together is also equally important. Recognize and reward team achievements. So we need to acknowledge the contribution of all the team members, also reward them And rewarding means just praise them, because praising is something which is very inexpensive. We don't need any extra finances or anything to reward someone. Just praising itself is a great appreciation and great acknowledgement and recognition of the contribution made by the team members. Because we need to acknowledge the individual contributions, and also as a group. After we finish the project, it's always important to celebrate and acknowledge the contribution made by all the team members. All right, so those were the strategies that help us to understand when we work in teams, what are some of these strategies that we can borrow and use them. But let's look at some examples from real life. And these examples, I believe that many of them you will be very familiar with. First example is from Pixar Animation Studio. So we all know that Pixar produced so many successful animated movies. To name a few, include Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Up. So their teamwork strategy is that they try to build a culture of collaboration and open communication. So one of their key practices that they use in teamwork is brain trust meetings, where everybody, all the team members, they provide candid feedback on the projects, honest feedback, brutal feedback on the projects. And that helps them to come up with creative ideas and creative projects. And whenever they find problems, they find innovative solutions to those problems. Another example is Google. We all know that Google has grown from a startup to one of the most influential tech companies in the world. So their teamwork strategy is they believe in employee-first culture. That means they promote open communication and collaboration, a lot of teamwork. And they actually conducted a project which is called Aristotle. So I thought you might be interested to know that what were the key findings of their project. So basically, the objective to do this project was Google was interested to find out that how they can build high-performing teams at Google. So they started this project in 2012. And in this project, they analyzed data from 180 Google teams over the period of 2 years. And their key findings were, first key finding was psychological safety, that team members feel safe to take risk and be vulnerable in front of each other. So that was one major key finding. And another finding was dependability. That means team members can be reliable and they complete a high quality work on time. Another major finding was structure and clarity, clear roles, clear plans, and clear goals within the team. That was one of the key findings of their project. Another finding was meaning. Meaning means that all the team members believe that work is very meaningful to them. And impact. The teams believe that the impact of the work that they do creates change. So those were the key findings. And these key findings tell us that if we are interested to build winning teams and effective teams or successful teams, these are some of the things we need to use when we work on teams. Another example from real life is Tesla. So we all know about this, that they revolutionized the electric vehicle market and became a leader in sustainable energy solutions. So their teamwork strategy is that they believe in cross-functional collaboration and continuous innovation. So again, they have different types of experts in their teams. And cross-functional teams means that people do have diverse types of skills. And those diverse skills and strengths help them to solve the complex problems and keep innovating. Another example from real life is Chicago Bulls. So their success is that they won 6 NBA championships in the 1990s. So that was a basketball team led by Michael Jordan, whose famous quote about the teamwork I already shared with you at the beginning. And their teamwork strategy is that they believe in trust, mutual respect, and shared goal. Another example from real life is the All Blacks, New Zealand rugby team. So they are one of the most successful teams in rugby history, known for their high win rate and dominance in international competitions. And their strategy is this mentality that no one is bigger than the team. So they don't go for individual success, they believe in team success. All right. So based on that, I would like to conclude this talk on teamwork with this quote, famous quote, which was from Phil Jackson, who was the basketball player, a very famous coach. According to him, the strength of the team is each individual member, and the strength of each member is the team. And now there is some time for question and answer session. So I would like to hear from you that what are your questions about teamwork? Let me stop sharing my screen so I can have a look at the chat if you have any questions there. Okay, I can see some comments in the chat. Do you have any other questions? Okay, an interesting question from Lorraine. What advice can you give if one member of the team isn't participating or communicating at all, but want the credit as well? Well, yes, that is one of the very major challenges that we face. So I believe if I can refer you to the characteristics of effective teams, that we have to set the foundations and we have to set the norms and expected behaviors at the beginning of the teamwork. So I would say that setting the foundation right at the beginning really helps all the team members to understand that what is expected of them. And I believe that, keep leading them, motivating them, influencing them, and reminding them can help um, to motivate such free riders or those who don't contribute at all. But at the end, I understand that it's really painful to see that those who did not contribute still expect the same credit as well. I believe that, when you work if you are talking about those academic projects, let's say your assessment, group assessments. So if you are working on your group assessments and you experience something similar that you have mentioned in your question, I believe that you need to not only talk to your team members, but also include your lecturer as well in this journey, because talking to the lecturer can also help them that what's going on the ground. And I believe that in student projects, group projects, everybody should get the everybody should get what they deserve for. So for instance, if one person is not contributing at all, I don't think that this person deserve any credit. However, depending on the nature of the group projects, that's why I said it's really important to discuss this with the lecturer, because I know that I always encourage my students to work on their student projects, but also give us some feedback that how you are progressing. And, who is not contributing. If members are not contributing, of course, there should be some intervention from the lecturer from grading perspective. Okay, and how to avoid conflicts between team members who have different point of view? Well, very good question, Cutie. So, as I said earlier, that conflict is inevitable. We can't avoid it. I mean, in most of situations, majority of situations, it's very common that people do have different viewpoints. So I think in this context, I would say that first thing we need to accept that all the conflicts are not bad. There are some constructive conflicts as well, because we see that when creative teams work together, they do have very diverse and divergent ideas, very different thoughts. And as long as they want to get the job done most efficiently and most effectively, and they are coming up with better ways of doing the jobs, that means it's helpful. But when the conflict is I would say when conflict becomes personal, that is a dysfunction conflict. So that is something that we need to seriously take it and, take some action to avoid it. But otherwise, different viewpoints is, I believe it's very natural, very common. And as long as people do have logic and they do have evidence that this idea would work, let's say you are choosing a project case study. So you're choosing one real life example, real life organization. You want to analyze that organization, how they are doing teamwork or how they achieve success. So anything related to your subject. And in that case, people do have different ideas that this organization is good. Let's say Google, one person says that Google is the best case example. Let's choose Google. Another one comes up with Apple. Another one comes up with Netflix and so on. So they do have different ideas. So we need to have that open-mindedness to listen actively to different thoughts and opinions, and then ask them to come up with what is best with your viewpoint. And then let's discuss that what are the strengths and weaknesses of all these viewpoints or ideas, and then pick and choose which is the best, where we can maximize the project outcomes. I'm not sure if I answered the question. Okay, all right, thank you. Because I know a conflict is inevitable. So we should stop thinking that when we work in group, we won't have any conflict. We must have a conflict. All right, so there is another question from Pradham. What if we are in a team as a member where the team leader does not lead the team properly and does not connect properly as a member? What can we do? I would say that, there organizations these days are encouraging a lot of teamwork, and there are self-managed teams as well. I would say that every person is responsible, because at the end, if you are getting the grade, let's say in academic group projects, then it is a serious matter for you as well. So everybody should take the ownership of the task, and everybody should try to act as a leader in a way to influence each other and motivate each other, and inspire everybody to come up with great work. So I think that is the advice from my end, that don't wait for the leader to take action and motivate everybody. Rather, be a leader yourself, and influence everybody so everybody comes up with great quality work. Okay, so I think this is the time to end this webinar, I believe. But thank you so much for making yourself available and attend this webinar. And I hope that there might be some takeaways and some ideas that could help you in your future team projects. A pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sabiha, for your time and for all the information and knowledge that you had shared with us. I believe that the student has learned a lot. Thank you again for your time.
A pleasure. Thank you so much. Okay, bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for
Bye.
joining. Thank you, Dr. Sabiha. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.